So these are some tips on how to approach forward folds and from the perspective of the different tilts of your pelvis. So we're all born with different sizes, different mobility and ranges in our pelvis. So there are certain things you can do that will help with facilitating you in a forward bend. But first, let's just map these movements of our pelvis. So you have a posterior tilt, which if you bend your knees slightly, you'll be able to access this more. So you'll let your tailbone draw down, and it's like your pelvis is moving forwards. That's your posterior tilt. Your anterior tilt is, and I'm going to keep your knees bent to help you find this. You lift your tailbone up, and it's like you're pouring your pelvis forward, as if it's containing fluid and you're pouring that forwards. And let's do that a few times. So keep your knees bent so that you can find those two ranges. That will help. And maybe take a moment to just notice which of these feels more familiar or comfortable for you. And then just pause there for a moment and come back to a normal stance. I'm just going to show you what would happen if you were going to go into a forward fold without that awareness. So if I was going to go in and just come straight the way forwards, just drop down, and then I'm not really thinking about the position of my pelvis, and I'm possibly pushing out a little bit through the backs of my legs. So that's one thing that can happen here. And also I might be not supporting my spine as much as I could be. Okay? And the same goes for coming up without that awareness. But if you're to bend your knees, then you have the capacity to tilt your pelvis forwards. And then as you come down, you can rest your stomach to your thighs. That will help to support your lower back. And it will give you the space to then find more flexion and more of a fold from your pelvis and from your hips. And then that can help you to come a little bit deeper into your forward fold. You can even place your thumbs to your hip creases to help you to find that. So this is really useful when we come and explore positions like Padangusthasana, where you bring your first two fingers and your thumb to your big toes. Or Parahastasana, where you bring your hands under your feet. I've also chosen to take my feet a little bit wider than my hips to help give me that space. Okay, I'm going to bring my hands to my pelvis and come up to stand by bending my knees, push my heels into the ground to come up. Okay, and those tips can all be applied, most of those tips can be applied, particularly with the movement of your pelvis, to any seated forward fold as well, and when you go through your sun salutations.